everybody, welcome to Garden Time with Belle. This video is going to be actually part 2 to my May Walkabout Garden Tour series. And this segment of the video is going to take you into my greenhouse because it looks way different than it did in April. Take you into the raised bed garden where I grow veggies and herbs and cut flowers. And then we're going to take a walk up into our 2-acre pollinator habitat and see what's happening there. Before we head into the raised bed garden, let's take a peek in my greenhouse. You're going to see here in the front my beautiful aqua pots that I just potted up and shared a recent video, so you want to check that out. And I placed this gorgeous oh so blue unplugged salvia from Proven Winners in the center. Isn't that pretty? It's just starting to bloom. These have only been in the pot maybe a week, and it's going to be surrounded by the Maverick Bullseye geraniums in the color salmon that I started growing from seed this year. So let's take a quick peek at the transformation of the greenhouse. And one of the new additions you're going to maybe notice, those of you that really pay close attention to my videos, is this new little installation of a magnetic screen. So why we installed this magnetic screen is because in the heat of the summer, most of us as greenhouse growers, we leave the door to our greenhouse open, all of the windows, of which I have 5. I have a venting system, but it can get blistering hot. So I leave my front door to the greenhouse open a lot. I'm in and out a lot. But what was happening is in the last couple of weeks, we have so many hummingbirds on our property that the little hummers were coming in my greenhouse and they were getting scared and kind of stuck up in the rafters. And oh my gosh, I would come in at night to close up the greenhouse and I would find one in here, and it was not an easy task to shoo them out the doorway. So the screen is going to help a lot, I hope. I'll have to pop up a video of inside the greenhouse from a month ago, because there's really no way you can appreciate the difference unless you've really paid close attention to my videos. I mean, a month ago, these shelves, every horizontal surface was loaded and packed full of the plants that I started from seed this year and plants that I had ordered. And the mass exodus is almost complete. I have my little raised bed herbs that they stay in here year round. I've got some more coleus that I've propagated that I'm getting to grow on a little bit. So I'll be finding a place or a home for those pretty soon. Got a little geranium here. Got some more geraniums. I've got a couple of hostas I just picked up on a pretty decent sale. This is the Proven Winners hosta. Let me get in here, called Shadowland Voices in the Wind. What I love about it is not only it's a variegation, meaning the dark green to the lime green, but I love the wavy texture, the edges of the leaves. I think they're really, really pretty. Haven't decided where they're going to go, but you know, listen, you can always make room for more plants. These geraniums, of course, stay in here year round, and I propagate them to create more plants. And these little sweeties are the beautiful salmon ones that I grew this year. Gosh, I grew 48. Every seed that I planted in 2 cell trays germinated. So I have given away a lot of these beautiful geraniums, but as you probably saw on the first garden tour around the property, I have popped them in just about everywhere. I am so grateful to have my greenhouse. It has changed the way that I garden. Primarily, it's given me the opportunity for a big space to grow loads and loads of seeds. I can grow things in my garden that I've never grown before because I can't find some of these varieties at the big box stores or at my local nursery. So I find seeds and try new things all the time. But you know, you don't have to have a big greenhouse to start lots of seeds. I know many of you start seeds in your home, inside, in your basement, and do a marvelous job, but isn't a bad place for me to hang out. So enough about the greenhouse. Let's head outside and into my raised bed garden. What a transformation from a month ago to today. You can maybe tell already before we even get inside how busy I have been. This first bed is devoted to cut flowers. I've got some celosia in there, flamingo flower. I popped in some feverfew. I would say of all the seeds I started this year, feverfew was my biggest challenge. I only got 6 plants out of 24. So I got about a 50% germination rate. I'll put a picture of what feverfew looks like when it's mature. Those are baby plants now. All right, this 4 by 8 foot box, all around the edges, you will see garlic. I'll be harvesting my garlic probably in about a month, towards the end of June. And tucked in the center of this bed, my dahlias. Check out my recent video on how I love to pre-sprout my dahlias, because when I do that, I get blooms earlier and I get flowers for a good 2 or 3 weeks more than if I didn't pre-sprout. This bed here has 8 different varieties of tomatoes. I started all of these tomatoes from seed. When I put these plants in, they were looking very spindly, and it didn't take them any time at all to start to flush out. I've got some lavender. You can get in close here so you can see. And all throughout the bed, I have Mrs. Burns lemon basil that I started from seed. Planting basil in and among all of your veggie crops is a really, really good practice. They repel lots of insects and can really cut down on some pests in your garden. Oh, Carmine is trying to show off. Let me pull back the garlic and show you this gomphrena called Carmine. I don't know if it's wanting, it's probably not wanting to focus very well, but as if I back up here a little ways, at the north side of each of these beds, I place Carmine because she gets rather tall up against the cattle panels. Have to show you my greenstock vertical garden here, my vertical planter. Probably one of the best investments I've made in my garden in the last couple of years. Oh my goodness, you can pack, what is it? Let's see, 30 plants into this amazing planter. If you have somebody in your life who loves to garden and has a small space or just needs more space to grow things, wow, this would be a tremendous gift. I would love it as a gardener if somebody would have gifted me this. In the top tier, I've just popped in a few little things like some nasturtiums that I started from seed, and these Chica Flame. You're going to see these Chica Flame marigolds that I started from seed. Marigolds are also wonderful pest repellents for your garden. They smell yucky to some insects, so that's a good thing to keep insects away from your crops. And then every other thing you see in here are strawberries. And here's one I haven't looked. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. I'm getting excited now. Guys, I haven't looked in here in a couple of days. I have fruit. I have fruit. Oh my goodness. 24 seascape strawberry plants. They are everbearing, which means they will pump out strawberries from now until frost. Yum, yum. All right, let's take a look over here. Ooh, what is under this? I think I'm going to have to put the camera down because I can't film and remove this frost cloth at the same time. So let me unveil and show you what's hiding in this raised bed. Okay, who can guess what's in this raised bed? Potatoes, and the first time ever growing broccoli. Oh my goodness. I am so happy. I just filmed a little short for YouTube the other day of me harvesting my first broccoli ever. One of the tips I shared with everybody on that little short is, even though you're going to harvest the main big head at some point, you want to leave the other parts to the plant, because can you see, let me get in here really close. I hope it stays focusing. Do you see that? That's going to form up some more little broccoli heads. They'll be quite small, but still broccoli. So anyhow, potato-wise, I have red Norlands and Kennebec or Kennebach. I don't know how you say it, but anyhow, it's a red one and a creamy one. So super happy about this. I mean, I had such good luck with this broccoli, guys. First time ever, that I will definitely make space, bigger space next year to grow more broccoli. So some of you ask about the hoops and the frost cloth or insect netting. Broccoli and cabbages, things from that family, are very susceptible sometimes to pest, and I think it's the cabbage moth that can come in and decimate your crops. And so if you can, cover them. That way that little white butterfly can't land on the foliage and lay eggs that will turn into the little caterpillars that will eat everything up. All right, birdies raised beds. You got to see us install those in the spring. What a game changer. Wow, wow, wow. Love them so much. All right, so you can see pretty easily what's in here. Well, let me just pan around. Down the center, I have my gorgeous, gorgeous rainbow shard. Isn't that a stunner? I mean, look at those leaves. So all the way down the very center of this bed, I've got that growing. I've harvested quite a bit here. I need to get in here and harvest some more. On this edge of the bed, I have some lettuce, and it's gonna be probably getting pretty close to being done here in the next couple of weeks. But this is the butterhead variety. Started all that from seed. My spinach, and this is its second flush. I had a bunch of friends over, and we pretty much sheared this all down, and I had them take a whole bunch of lettuce and spinach away. It's cut and come again. You cut it, and guess what? It comes again. So I have lots of good spinach left, and this is the tundra variety. So mild and delicious. Swinging around here on the other side, I've harvested the Rocky Top loose leaf lettuce, so that's done. I've got a little escarole left, which is an Italian style lettuce. You can see the name there. So I have a little bit of that left to harvest. But meanwhile, I popped in some ageratum. So eventually I'll be pulling all this lettuce off. I'll be leaving the Swiss chard and harvesting from it all summer long. I mean, look at that. I just can't even, like, that's a picture, you all. Look at that. Oh, sorry, I'm getting so excited. Anyhow, ageratum, beautiful blue flowers, starting to have little tiny buds. So those will be some cut flowers for me to use this year. Let's move up here. All right. So in this bed, who can guess what all of these are going to be? They grow under the soil, and that would be carrots. I grew these from seed this year, just like last year, and believe it or not, I thinned them all because you want to make sure that your carrots have lots and lots of space to grow, and I probably could come in here, quite honestly, and thin them again. I'm going to try to get in here so you can see, you know, under the ground, they need room to grow. So I'm going to come back in and do a second thinning so that they can grow. But anyhow, I am growing, let's see, I'm glad I have a marker, the glow stick moonrise, purples, yellows, oranges, and red carrots here. And then I'm pretty sure this is new Carota. Is that what I grew? Yeah, new Carota. There we go. A beautiful, tasty orange carrot. So lots of great carrots for the season. On the south side of the carrots, I have my leeks, and I have my scallions and onions. And, you know, I had a terrible time growing nasturtiums from seed this year. I had a whole packet I bought from a new provider, and none of them germinated. So I just put seed in here just a few days ago, 1 or 2 by each emitter. So I'm hoping I can get some nasturtiums to grow and they'll be trailing over the edge if they'll ever germinate. I don't know what I'm doing wrong this year, but you know what? You can't have success with certain crops every year, can you? In this raised bed, I have 7 varieties of peppers growing, everything from a super duper hot spicy peppers to mild peppers. And what I'm most excited about growing are these, they're called mini bells. So you ever go to the grocery store and get that package of mini snacking peppers that have what, let's see, orange, yellow, and red? Well, that's what these are. So I have 2 of those plants. In the bed, of course, I've got my Chica Flame marigolds. Like I said, they're dotted throughout all of my veggie beds to repel pests and other kinds of unwanted critters. I have the Mrs. Burns lemon basil also dotted around as another way to deter garden pests and other kinds of problems. The final area of the raised bed garden I want to share with you all are these 2 long little narrow beds with the, I don't know, can you see my arch that connects the 2 beds? Let me turn the camera around and I'm going to show you all what is growing in here and what's going to get planted in here very soon. Well, we got to say hi to Jerome. Hey, Jerome. He is out here doing his gnome magic in the garden. So what I typically use these long boxes for in early spring is sugar snap peas. I am a huge fan of sugar snap peas, and I don't know what happened this year, but man, they got off to such a slow start. I planted seeds directly in the ground for these sugar snaps and took them forever to start producing, but boy, they have. And even more are going to be coming. Check out those pretty little flowers. But pretty soon after this harvest is done, this will be a bed of green beans, pole beans, and they're going to climb up the trellis and put on, I hope, a big crop this year. And then let's check out the other side. Anybody know what these are? I had some friends over for a little walkabout the other day, and they had never seen chives in the ground, and they had no clue that chives actually produce these gorgeous lilac colored flowers and seeds. So while they're pretty, I do need to cut the blooms off so that they can re-energize and spend their energy on the roots, and I use them in loads of cooking. So yeah. And then check out my sugar snap peas on this side. What happened? I don't know. Only 3 or 4 plants came up on this side, but they are tasty. So this crop, as soon as they leave, which is going to be pretty soon, I am going to be planting some cucumber seed. So I'll have green beans on one side, cucumbers on the other side, and they will climb up the trellis. So it's time to leave the raised bed garden for now, and I want to end our tour today with a really, really special part of our property. And those of you that have followed my videos in the past might know what I'm referring to, and I'll swing the camera around here and point this direction. And if you can see, there we go, behind the pond, up on this hill, my husband and I converted 2 acres of our property to a monarch pollinator habitat. This will be, I believe, this is its 4th summer, just starting, and I am discovering new things about these plants and the critters that live in this 2 acres every single season. And so I thought I'd take you along and we'll end our time together on the tour up there on top of the pollinator habitat. Before we head up the pathway into our monarch habitat up on the hill, I wanted to take a quick pause here and let you see what's happening. So it needs some help, doesn't it? 100%. This is my attempt at a little hosta garden. You know, you saw hostas up by the house, but we don't have a lot of shade on our property. And so I wanted to transform this into a little hosta garden. And I'm sort of getting there, but what's happening like it did last year is I get all these suckers. So obviously this isn't a hosta. These are little suckers that come up from the ground, and I used a sucker punch last year, which I'll put on the screen. You brush this stuff, sucker punch liquid on top of, you cut back the suckers and you dot the top of it, and it keeps them from growing back. But you can see, oh boy, I haven't done that this year. So that's on my to-do list. Come in here and do that. But oh, look at this. I can't tell you the varieties of these hostas. I just get what I get, and I divide and pull things from the other parts of the property over here. The other thing you're going to see is a lot of spent daffodil foliage. You see that? You guys know you need to leave your daffodil foliage up until it gets yucky and brown, and then you can cut it back. And so by the time that daffodil foliage can get cut back, these hostas hopefully will really fill in this bed, and we'll hide all of that. Okay, enough about my little lame hosta garden. Let's head up this pathway into the monarch habitat. Probably should have put on some sunglasses because, woo, it's a beautiful sunny May morning. But here we are at the top of the hill of our pollinator habitat. I'll turn the camera around and show you a different perspective. You know, I mentioned to you all that I am constantly learning about this pollinator habitat of ours. I am seeing plants and varieties this year that I have never ever seen before. And this is its fourth summer. So each year it is new, fresh, and different. I'll get some close-ups of some of the things that are blooming, but also I want to show you some things that are new to me that I honestly were not here last year, which is just mind-blowing. Of course, this is the gorgeous coreopsis, and you're going to see this all over the garden, and we have about 2 or 3 different varieties of coreopsis. Now, I see some bumbles out here. I don't see a lot of pollinators yet because it's still fairly cool and in the morning, and as you know, they're just waking up in the morning. I am in no way, shape, or form an expert on native plants. I know just a tiny, tiny bit. What I can tell you is when we started this pollinator habitat, we spread a seed mix over these 2 acres, and that seed mix contained 26 different varieties of native plants to our mid-Missouri area that are wonderful for monarchs. I think we have 4 different types of species of milkweed, also great for any other kind of pollinators, butterflies, bees, etc. So here's a new one. This is all over the place right now, and this is a penstemon of some kind. Those of you who have lots more knowledge than I do of native species, if you see things that I'm showing and I have no clue what they are, please, please, please share your expertise in the comments and let me know what you think. All right, here's another new plant. I swear to you, I never saw the Indian paintbrush for the last 3 seasons. This is brand new this year, and I could not be more excited about it. And I am so hopeful that we're going to be able to see more and more and more of it all throughout the garden. I would love it if it would splash its yellow and orangeness all around the space. Here's some more of that penstemon that I was sharing that I'd never seen before. So this will change, you know, it's just like the regular garden. Things will come in and out of flush. Coreopsis is making a big show right now with this penstemon. And again, that Indian paintbrush, let me see if I can slowly pan in. You can see some of it off in the distance. Yeah, so could not be happier with how things are progressing. I think hanging out in my 2-acre pollinator habitat is the perfect place to wrap up today's May Walkabout Part 2. Thank you all so much for coming along with me as you got to see sort of the emptiness of my greenhouse, the fullness of my raised bed veggie, herb, and cut flower garden, and of course, the beauty that is happening in my 2-acre pollinator habitat. So if you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and subscribing so that I can bring more gardening videos to you all, as well as just sharing with everybody the joy of gardening. So until next time, I'm going to wish everybody happy gardening.